Okay, I'm struggling mightily today, and I'm going to tell you why. I need you to help me with something. I need you to help me walk through this because I am a firm believer in principled, good faith debate. That's what this show is all about. I don't want to contradict myself. I'm trying to be measured in my shock at Senator Mike Lee. Not so much Rand Paul, because Rand Paul is very consistent in terms of his belief that we shouldn't be anywhere in the world. He doesn't want resources spent anywhere. He doesn't really want any kind of conflict in any other part of the world, and I get that. And he is very, very consistent. But Mike Lee is a different story. Senator Mike Lee is a rock solid conservative. He's got libertarian leanings. But Mike Lee emerged from the Senate briefing yesterday over the Iranian missile strike that took out Soleimani, and he is livid. He's on fire. He can't believe how bad the briefing is. And you probably heard it, right? Here's Senator Mike Lee, cut number 2 from Fox News Channel. He emerges from the briefing, and he has got steam coming out of his ears. I'm sorry, cut number 1. This is worst briefing he's ever seen. Cut 1 from Mike Lee.
I had hoped and expected to receive more information outlining the legal, factual, and moral justification for the attack. I was left somewhat unsatisfied on that front. The briefing lasted only 75 minutes, whereupon our briefers left. This, however, is not the biggest problem I have with the briefing, which I would add was probably the worst briefing I've seen, at least on a military issue, in the 9 years I've served in the United States Senate. What I found so distressing about that briefing was that one of the messages we received from the briefers was, do not debate, do not discuss the issue of the appropriateness of further military intervention against Iran. And that if you do, you'll be emboldening Iran. The implication being that we would somehow be making America less safe by having a debate or a discussion about the appropriateness of further military involvement.
Okay. So, and there's Rand Paul by his side, basically the same position. Senator Lindsey Graham had a response, and it was very, very short and sweet and to the point.
You know, they're libertarians. The Department of Defense, I think, made a compelling case. They have all the legal authority they need to hit Soleimani, who is an enemy belligerent by any definition of the law. That if we hadn't done something and Americans had been killed, all these people would be tarred and feathered. So they thought that a war powers debate might send the wrong signal to the Iranians. I think they're right. They didn't say you can't debate. I think they're overreacting, quite frankly. Go debate all you want to. I'm going to debate you.
He went on to say something very, very serious about Senator Mike Lee and Senator Rand Paul's reactions.
Trust me, I'm gonna let people know that at this moment in time, to play this game with the War Powers Act, which I think is unconstitutional, is that whether you mean to or not, you're empowering the enemy. I know you don't mean to, but we live in the real world here.
Empowering the enemy. Wow. That's a powerful accusation. So here's where I'm stuck. I'm stuck between recognizing that I appreciate debate. I understand how difficult this issue is. I've embraced the fact that we ought to have critical thinking. Nothing about this is easy. Everything has gone incredibly well so far for President Trump. I mean, no, Iran blinked. Oil prices went tumbling. The stock market is soaring. Once again, the Trump haters got everything wrong. Trump pulled off a huge victory, and they know it. You know it. I know it. But I am back to being torn between Mike Lee sort of sticking a shiv in President Trump's back on this issue and welcoming debate. Couple of fun facts about Mike Lee. Do you remember who he voted for in 2016? Spoiler alert, It wasn't Donald Trump. He voted for Evan McMullin. Evan McMullin. He was also one of those who called for Trump to drop out of the race after the Access Hollywood tape came out. So you see, in my mind, Mike Lee is no fan of President Trump. Now, he has said largely over the last couple of years he supports many of the president's policies. Why not now? You're going to support the War Powers Act, Senator Lee, because you didn't like the tone of the briefing yesterday? So you're gonna go in bed with Nancy Pelosi and Tim Kaine and the dirty Democrats and be a part of that? Wow. All right, so I need your help. I don't know where help. Let's kind of cull through this together. I'm torn between my desire for meaningful debate and just utter disgust at Republicans who are hurting this president and, in the words of Lindsey Graham, empowering our enemy.